Hey, this is Keith Carter. I'm really glad to talk with you about how we can calculate return on invested capital. And we're going to take a look at how making a bit of savings in terms of Whirlpool's costs can make a difference in terms of their overall return on invested capital, but calculate it in something called basis points. Let's take a look through. We're looking at the COGs reduction review spreadsheet. And we wanted to take a look at how Whirlpool, if they would be impacted, if they were to reduce the parts price per piece. So now we're taking a look at a very high level, what type of reduction could we achieve? If we estimated, hey, you know what, if we did an information systems consulting solution and we delivered a 5% reduction in the cost per piece, let's see what would happen with some of our work here. And so we would look at, first of all, the number of units that are sold. So this is based on the 2017 annual report of Whirlpool. I have the number of units, and what we looked at was the original cost per product. Now, this was a particular product that we had, which was one of these plastic pieces, and we imagined that it went into every single piece in the entire company. Okay, just to again give us an estimate. And we imagined that we put in an information systems consulting solution to bring the cost per piece down by 5%. What that would do is have the total cost of the product, which was originally $33 million, get reduced down to $32 million in terms of impact. That results in a reduction of COGS of $1.5 million. Now, our total cost of goods sold for Whirlpool in 2017 was $17.6 billion. We're going to take a small number, 1.5 million, and put it into a big one. So we get a savings in percentage, which is really small, 0.00085, etc. And now here is where we introduce the wonderful term called basis points. Now, basis points lets you take a very small percentage and kind of get it to a whole number. I saved 1 basis point this year in terms of procurement spend and cost of goods sold, or by doing this information systems consulting project, you'll save a couple of basis points in terms of your costs, or you'll even deliver a few basis points improvement into your return on invested capital. So basis points lets you have a better way of saying what would have been the alternative. I can share and improve your business by 0.0x%. Doesn't quite sound as good as if you can have a whole number with basis points. So basis points is simple as 1/100th of a percentage, or 0.0001. So when we divide that savings percentage, which was a small number, by basis points, then we get a nice number here. So in fact, hey, we saved almost 1 basis point in terms of our cost of goods. What would it mean in terms of a reduction in inventory? Well, this has a little bit larger impact. The total inventory is 2.9 billion. Let's round it to 3. And that 1.5 million, because I was able to reduce it in terms of piece price, if I had 0 inventory at the beginning of the year and I went and produced all the pieces, I could avoid spending $1.5 million. So my total inventory costs would be reduced by $1.5 million. And so my overall inventory is going to come down by $1.5 million. That results in an inventory reduction percentage of a very small number again. And then here, but it's not so bad, it looks even better. Hey, we got a 5 basis point improvement in inventory. Now that sounds really good. Here's where it gets exciting. So I want to show that the entire business is going to get improved. And return on invested capital is a nice way to be able to show that I was able to improve my sales, improve my profit rather, and at the same time draw down the amount of money I needed to put into the company. Whirlpool, we took a rough estimate of their 2017 return on invested capital. Here's a caveat. This may not equal to some other calculations you may see. We took a more simplified view, which would be EBIT, which is earnings before interest and taxes, over our invested capital. So what did we use as the whole totals for this? We decided to take EBIT, which is on the 2017 annual report, and of 1.05 billion. Then we took our actual activities that were going on in the company, which were included the income tax, the payables, working capital, inventory. All that totaled up to $8.6 billion. The return on invested capital was 12%. Now, in order for us to see an improvement, if we were to reduce the price per piece, that would mean we would reduce our cost of goods sold and it would reduce our inventory. So we will reduce the numerator. We'll increase the numerator because we're going to see improved earnings before interest and taxes, improved profit. And I'm going to decrease the denominator, which means I'm going to get a bigger lift, right? So let's see what happens. If both EBIT and my overall capital infusion were improved, then I'm going to get a 1.95 basis point improvement in return on invested capital. Wow, that's nice. What about if I only improved EBIT? If I had done an information systems consulting project and the only thing I was able to improve was cost of goods, which might happen by just reducing labor a bit, right? So if I pulled labor down, I might not reduce my costs, my inventory costs. And so here, and we can discuss where that fits and what have you in the cost of goods and why it might not be part of inventory. But in this case, imagine we took it in that position and we said we only improved EBIT, not inventory. We still have a nice uplift of 1.7 basis points. But let's say I only improved inventory. And so if I only improved inventory, I left EBIT alone, and inventory had reduced, so my entire capital investment had reduced a bit. I see that my return on invested capital improvement is much smaller. In fact, I'm only getting a 0.2 basis point improvement. And so this is really important. We've been able to show that by calculating more benefits that might come from an information systems consulting project, not just the cost of goods, but also the investment into the company, we got to see that the total return on invested capital was significantly improved. It was great talking with you about this. I hope this helps clarify some of the return on invested capital. Glad to talk about some of the assumptions that we took in the formula, and hope this helps you with the rest of your projects.